Hi friends, welcome to our new video. So here I am going to discuss about chapter 4, that is quadratic equation. Before that, first we have to know some of the learning objectives of this chapter. Okay, so listen carefully. Here I have written some of the learning objectives. First one is standard form. Second one is methods of solving a quadratic equation. In that itself there are three methods. First one is factorization method, square completion method, and third one is quadratic formula. And next important learning objective is nature of roots. There are three nature of roots I will discuss later. First we can discuss about standard form of a quadratic equation. So listen carefully. We know that standard form or general form of a quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. So ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0 is our standard form of a quadratic equation, where a is the coefficient of x square, b is the coefficient of x, and c is the constant term, where a, b and c are real numbers and a not equal to 0. Okay, but we have to remember at least this part, ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. Let's take an example. 5x square plus 8x minus 7 equals to 0. So we can consider this example as a standard form of a quadratic equation. That is where a equal to 5 and b equal to 8, where c equal to minus 7. Okay, move on to another example. Example number 2. 7x square minus 3x equals to 10. Okay, this is an example for quadratic equation, but this is not in standard form. So first we have to arrange this in standard form. Standard form means arrange all the terms on one side, usually we arrange it on the LHS, and other terms have RHS and should be on 0. Okay, so while arranging 7x square minus 3x, if 10 comes this side, becomes minus 10 equals to 0. Now this equation, this quadratic equation is in standard form. Understood? Okay, so standard form of a quadratic equation is nothing but arranging our equation in ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. Done. Now we are moving on to second method, second learning objective, that is methods of solving a quadratic equation. Actually there are three methods. First method is factorization method, second one is square completion method or completing the square method, and third one is by using the quadratic formula. In this, these two methods are very important from our examination point of view. Factorization method is comparatively less because that method we have already studied in your 9th standard. So I am discussing, for the time being I am discussing these two methods. If you want that factorization method also, I will provide with another video. So concentrate on these two methods. Okay, first method is, in this first method is square completion method and second method is quadratic formula. There are some steps or rules you should be followed while doing square completion method. That methods or steps are not mentioned in your textbook. For your better understanding, I am explaining in that way. Okay, so you have to arrange or you have to learn that step in order to solve an equation under square completion method. And quadratic formula, it's a direct formula. You should by heart that formula, then you should apply respective values in that formula. So I am discussing first square completion method. Now we are gonna discuss about steps involved in square completion method or completing the square method. Once again I repeat, these steps are not mentioned in your textbook. For better understanding, I am explaining this step. Okay. So first step is make the coefficient of x square equals to 1. First we have to make the coefficient of x square equals to 1. If not, okay, if coefficient of x square is not equal to 1, we have to make the coefficient of x square equals to 1. Second step is arrange all x terms. Okay, listen carefully. Here I mentioned all x terms, not only x, all x terms in the sense both x square as well as x. So you have to arrange all x terms on the one side, that usually we arrange that terms on LHS, and all constant terms. Constant term is nothing but the numbers 2, 3, 2 by 3, minus 8, such terms on the RHS. So arrange all x terms on LHS and constant terms on the RHS. Third, very important step, that is add a particular number on both sides. Okay, we have to listen carefully. We are always adding. Okay, we are adding a particular number on both the sides. that number should be half the square of coefficient of x. Okay, I repeat, half the square of coefficient of x should be added on both the sides. Then last step is adjustment. We have to adjustment the given equation in our general formula. Okay, general formula in the sense for calculation purpose. Okay, so once again I repeat, make coefficient of x square equal to 1, arrange all x terms on LHS and constant terms on the RHS, add a particular number on both sides. That number should be half the square of coefficient of x. Listen carefully, coefficient of x only, not x square. Okay, then last step is adjustments. Okay, so you will understand this by explaining a example. Okay, so listen carefully. Here I am taking 2x square plus 14x minus 120 equals to 0. Done. 2x square plus 14x minus 120 equals to 0. This equation we have to solve by using completing the square method. So now listen carefully. So first step is make the coefficient of x square equals to 1. Here we know that the coefficient of x square is an x square. Here the coefficient of x square is not equal to 1. So in order to make the coefficient of x square equal to 1, what we have to do is we have to divide a particular number throughout the equation. That number is 2. Okay. Why we are taking 2 is here the coefficient of x square is 2. So we have to divide throughout by 2 in order to make the coefficient of x square equal to 1. Understood? So while dividing 2x square by 2 plus 14x by 2 minus 120 by 2 equals to 0 by 2. We have to divide that number on both the sides in order to get the same result on both sides. So 2 get cancelled, becomes x square plus 14 by 2 we know that is 7x minus 120 by 2 gives us 60, which is equal to 0 by 2 is nothing but 0. Okay. Now for our first step is satisfied. Here the coefficient of x square became 1. Got it? So in order to make the coefficient of x square equals to 1, what we have to do is we have to divide a particular number. That number should be the coefficient of x square itself. Got it? Now we are moving to second step. First step is already finished. Second step is arrange all x terms on one side and constant terms on the other side. So all x terms in the sense both x square as well as x. So here x square and 7x are already on the LHS. So no need to further rearrangement. So 7x square plus 8x square plus 7x equals to, if minus 60 comes this side, becomes plus 60. Okay. Now we are arranged all x terms on one side and constant on the other side. Got it? So our second step is also satisfied. Got it? Now we have to add a particular number on both sides. Listen carefully. This is one of the important step in this method. Okay, we have to add a particular number on both sides. Okay, so first we can write that equation itself. 8x square plus 7x we have to add equals to, we don't know what number that is, that number we have to find out, equal to 60 plus. Okay, so we have to add a particular number on both sides. That number should be half the square of coefficient of x. So first we have to identify what is the coefficient of x. Here the coefficient of x is 7. Okay, you have to consider this equation and not this equation. You have to consider equation after all the adjustments, not given equation. So this is a adjusted equation. Here the coefficient of x is 7. So half the square of coefficient of x. First we can find out coefficient of x. Coefficient of x here is 7. Got it? Now we want half. Half of that is, half of any number is that number by 2. Got it? So half of that number is 7 by 2. Got it? For example, let's take an example. Half of 4. Half of 4 is 4 by 2, which we can divide. We can write 2. Half of 5 is 5 by 2, which we can't divide, which in the sense which is not divisible. So we will write 5 by 2 itself. Got it? 7 by 4. Half of this number is multiply denominator by 2. It gives us 7 by 8. Understood? So in order to find half of a number, you should multiply 2 by 2 on the denominator. Got it? So here our number is 7. So half of that number is 7 by 2. Okay? We need square of that number. So 7 by 2. Square of that number is 7 by 2 whole square. Got it? Okay? You need not square this number. We can write this as 49 by 4, but this is not compulsory. If you write this as 7 by 2 whole square, you will get more, calculation will become somewhat easy. So that number is 7 by 2 whole square. We have to add that number on both the sides. Okay? I repeat, we have to add a number on both sides. That number is half the square of coefficient of x. So first we have to identify what is the coefficient of x. That is 7. From this equation we got coefficient of x is 7. Now we want half of that number, that is 7 by 2. We need square. We need to square that number. So 7 by 2 square is 7 by 2 whole square itself. So that number is added on both sides. Understood? Okay. Now what you have to do is open a bracket. Okay. Now I am explaining a simpler method. I am not actually explaining the concept. So listen carefully. Now first you have to open a brackets. Then write x. First write x here. Then here we have written 7 by 2 whole square. So write 7 by 2. Got it? If the number is 4 square, you have to write 4 here. If the number is 10 by 3 whole square, you have to write 10 by 3. Understood? Now since all the symbols are plus, put plus here. Understood? Here all the symbols are plus, you have to write plus here. If the symbol is minus, that I will discuss later. So, and outside write square. Once again I repeat, first open brackets, then write x, then write 7 by 2, then put symbol because of the reason that here all the symbols are plus, then outside the bracket write square, which is equals to this side 60 plus. Now we can open 7 by 2 whole square, that is 7 square is 49 by 2 square is 4. Okay. While rewriting this equation, x plus 7 by 2 whole square gives us 60 into 4 is 240 plus 49 divided by 4, or becomes, this equation becomes x plus 7 by 2 whole square equals to 240 plus 49 gives us 289 divided by 4. Okay. Now we have to find the value of x. Now x plus 7 by 2 whole square equal to 289 divided by 4. So first we want the value of x. So in order to find the value of x, first we have to cancel the square. Got it? So in order to cancel that square, what we have to do is we have to take roots. We have to take roots on both sides. So next step is taking roots on both the sides, which gives us x plus 7 by 2 whole square, that is root of x plus 7 by 2 whole square equals to plus or minus root of 289 divided by 4. Okay, 289 divided by 4. Here you have to remember one thing, always write plus or minus in front of root. Okay. But here we are not writing because of the reason that here one variable is there. Always write plus or minus symbol in front of the root if the number is a constant. Okay, if the digit or if the item or if the term is a constant, always write plus or minus. Here because of the reason of x, we are not writing plus or minus. Got it? Now we can solve this equation. This root and square get cancelled. This becomes x plus 7 by 2 equals to plus or minus. We know that 289 has root, so root of 289 is 17 by root of 4 is 2. Got it? Now we can rearrange this equation. We can rearrange this equation becomes x plus 7 by 2 equals to either plus 17 by 2 or x plus 7 by 2 equals to minus 17 by 2. Okay, we are splitting these terms. First one is x plus 7 by 2 equal to either 17 by 2, x plus 7 by 2 equal to either 17 by 2 or x plus 7 by 2 equal to minus 17 by 2. Okay, while adjusting this equation, x equals to 17 by 2. If plus comes this side gives us minus 7 by 2 equals to 17 minus 7, 10 by 2, or x equal to 5. So this is one of the answer of this equation. Or second part is x equal to minus 17 by 2. This minus 17 by 2. If this 7 by 2 comes this side, becomes minus 7 by 2 equals to minus minus, we know that is positive, minus 24 by 2 or minus 12. So the value of x is either 5 or minus 12. Okay, this is about this method. Once again I repeat, first make the coefficient of x square equal to 1, then arrange all x terms on one side and constant terms on the other side, then add a particular number. That number should be half the square of coefficient of x. Then adjustment means these all steps. Understood? Okay friends, if you like our video, kindly subscribe our channel and press the bell icon. Okay, if you want more videos regarding any particular chapter or any particular concept, kindly mention in the comment box. Thank you.